talking about anybody in particular. I'm talking about the way we have all been indoctrinated. All of us, the media influences how we believe. Everything. This is a widely practiced thing in the United States. And when I am speaking on being influenced by Europeans and believing what they say, that's just a thing. All of us have had to unlearn and relearn things because all of us were not taught where we came from birth. And because I come from grandparents who went to CME church, and Jesus picture was white, and so like I'm speaking in general. I'm not talking about anybody here in particular, but I'm just saying how people have been taught the wrong things. We believe the wrong things. And maybe not even the wrong things, but incomplete things as well. I just want us to understand that there are too many parallels. There's a lot of stuff from us that are being left out that we don't know. And I don't want us to discard, and I don't want us to say, well, that's a bad thing, especially if we don't even know anything about it, because a lot of us are not being taught about these things.
Well, do you hold slavery against the collective group of people?
Huh?
Do you hold slavery against the collective group of people?
That's a difficult question to answer, honestly. Short answer, sure, why not?
So even like I'm what 10, 13 generations back, and I can't find a specific African. But even if we did have an African in our lineage that we could trace back to the progenitor, the same way we would find a YT man potentially in our lineage, I wouldn't claim I view both of those things the same, because they practiced a heavy slave trade. Before it was the sub-Saharan slave trade, then it became the transatlantic slave trade. So in my view, which is why I say the only thing that matters for me is moving forward what I could trace, because if you sold me into slavery, we not cool, we not friendly, we not friends, we nothing. And if you made statements and was proud of your proceeds at the time and then get mad later because you didn't get enough money from slavery, man, look.
Oh, are you talking about Africans?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's
You were crediting West Africa, and I'm saying this, like, granted, I don't believe this is the precise story, or at least the totality of the story. But if it is, the story is not the slave kidnapping; it's the slave trade. Those people would have been actively selling people.
I
So for
understand.
me specifically, I'm and like, because I know a lot of times culturally we'll give credit for like everything we do, saying it has original roots to Africa, right? But
Mm-hmm.
my thing is, where none of our answers, we have no cultural continuity within each one of our generations of lineage, with them teaching us words, language, traditions, and traits from a specific place over there. The only thing that we actually have is what we got here,
Mm-hmm.
unless you pull it from the Bible or the Quran.
Yeah. So a lot of our history is extremely like convoluted. Like we will never get a straight answer about anything. We will never truly know anything because a lot of things have been erased. But what I want people to really understand is that did our people like have a hand in it? Yeah. But the way chattel slavery and the slavery of our people, because everybody has been enslaved at some point, right? But chattel slavery is one of the most egregious forms of slavery. Like literally they made us cattle. Our people did not do that to their own people. They were not property. That was not it. They were prisoners. They were they were being punished. Slaves over there were not the way. No, they weren't. That's just not. because we don't dehumanize people. Slavery in amongst our own people, it was not a dehumanization, and it was basically, I take over your land, you take over my. You have to enslave people, right? There is punishment, slavery and punishment. You have to work things off. Hey, you go work for this person or whatever, right? I don't particularly know the ins and outs of it, right? The only thing that I know is that we were not property. There was always a level of humanity in all of that. And there's no way that they could have known the atrocities that we would face at the hands of those people coming over here. They didn't know that we would basically be workhorses funding a country, funding capitalism, starting this place. And if I'm being honest, the people that were already here, they were enslaved. They were enslaved because they knew they were captured, and they were enslaved because they knew the land. Them people didn't know this land. Those people had no clue about what farming was or anything. Our people didn't use us like that.
So
They used us because they knew nothing. The land that they came from didn't have the lands that we had. They needed agriculture. They didn't know how to do any of the things that we knew how to do. They used us. Our people had no way of knowing that because that is not how enslavement went in our original lands. It's just not. We went
so but let me
through, go
I just
ahead.
want to ask you one thing about that. So you said we weren't dehumanized or property, but could either of those be true if you sold a person?
So
Before
it's
you answer, let
not.
me just give you context, Bo. It's a king called King Gizo. He's quoted when requested to stop the slave trade by the Europeans. He has a quote that says, "The slave trade has been extremely profitable to my people, and there's nothing I enjoy more than seeing my enemies reduced and destroyed to slaves."
Mhm.
I think we make excuses for it because we kind of view through a lens that kind of excused a whole lot of horrific behavior, and that's assuming that we even that's even the part of our origin, which I said in the beginning, it could have come from many different lines to get to this point.
Mhm.
But only about 400,000 actually came here from there. But using the argument for those people, I can't excuse that. If I even was part of those people, I can't excuse that.
I'm
For
not.
me, if they participated in it and built kingdoms off of it, yeah, bro, it's up. Like if
So
you build a kingdom around that, it's up for me.
I'm not saying that we are excusing anything. What I'm saying is that your people are not as bad as those people because we
Is it
still
work?
have a level of humanity. You are missing the humanity in all of it. We still had a level, we still respected humanity. Prisoners of war, people who were captured, is something completely different than we are cows, dogs. They didn't see us like that. But all is fair in love and war. And when you're talking about prisoners, there's just some things that happened back then. This is something that has happened for millennia. It's something that happened when the African dynasties and Chinese dynasties were switching back and forth. China took over Africa. Our dynasties took over China, and they were back and forth for centuries. That's what happened. You clear the people from the land, and the people that you keep are your prisoners. They were enslaved, but they also did not dehumanize them the way those people dehumanized us. There is a level of humanity that white people just do not have. They cannot connect with humanity the way we can. They can't connect to the earth the way we can. So they don't treat us the way we treat us. There's still a level of humanity. And also, if you don't understand that, perfectly fine. We can agree to disagree. But it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, let's make sure we get some other folks in there too. Anybody wanted to respond? No, Hamp, I know you was Mark wanted to hear a little bit more from you.
I'm just kind of lit because I think there's a slight pivot from the Abrahamic text. So as long as everybody leave it alone, then I'll leave them alone. But when they start mentioning the Bible, shit gets shaky. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds like we moved on. So I'm gonna chill. You heard? You know what I mean? Just in case I see Bo looking up and down and shit. Don't you know what I mean? All right. but nah, just I'm just listening. Yeah, we kind of pivoted just because you know one thing, right? When you're reading the Bible thoroughly, like it tells you about all this stuff. Isaiah 14, Isaiah 61, it lets you know about slavery, taking them, bringing to your place, you'll possess them, right? And they will serve you. So all that happens. It also says in the Bible, Leviticus 22, right? You're not supposed to enslave an Israelite, right? There's a heavy cost for that. You know what I mean? But there was a reason why we weren't supposed to join with those people. Right. I just see too much stuff that we see in those countries, right? When they go into war, child soldiers and all that, right? Killing, destruction, even circumcising women. That shit is pretty profane to me. You know what I mean? So there's a level of a lot of that. We see a lot of unbecoming behavior. You know what I mean? But I agree, Bo. Also, biblically speaking, there is no more profane person in the earth than the so-called white man.
So what
I'm not arguing that point here.
I know you wasn't. I just want to acknowledge. I know you wasn't though. Yeah.
Yeah.
You was differentiating those people. Doing what to who? Yeah.